Hi, I'm George Snyder, one of the developers of the AI-MCP Agent platform. If your teams are building with AI, the next few minutes are for whoever answers for its cost and its risk. Here's why every AI agent belongs under one managed platform. Across the enterprise, AI adoption is exploding, but most of it is happening in the shadows, team by team, tool by tool, and the bill and the liability are both coming due. Let's start with the money. The problem isn't that AI is expensive, it's that no one can see what it's costing until the invoice arrives. Gartner forecasts that more than 40% of agentic AI initiatives will be canceled by 2027, and at least 30% of generative AI projects abandoned after proof of concept. The number one culprit? Escalating, unpredictable cost. This isn't theoretical. In 2026, Uber, a company that runs on data, burned through its entire annual AI budget in just 4 months. Its response was to cap every employee at $1,500 a month. When a company like Uber loses the thread on AI spend, anyone can. And spend is accelerating. Enterprise model API spending doubled to over $8 billion in half a year because a single autonomous agent can plan, retry, and verify, quietly consuming dozens of API calls where a person made one. But cost is only half the story. The other half is what ungoverned AI does with your data. Sensitive records leaving your walls, prompt injection, and regulations like HIPAA, SOC 2, and the EU AI Act with no audit trail to show for it. Let's look at how real that is. In 2023, Samsung engineers pasted confidential source code into ChatGPT to debug it and handed proprietary intellectual property to a third party they couldn't take it back from. Within weeks, Samsung banned generative AI company-wide, not because the tool was bad and because no one was governing how it was used. IBM found that breaches involving unsanctioned shadow AI cost an extra $670,000 each. 1 in 5 organizations has already had one, and 63% still have no AI governance policy at all. Cost and risk aren't separate problems, they're the same blind spot. Regulators have noticed. The EU AI Act carries fines up to 35 million euros, or 7% of global revenue. Italy's privacy regulator already fined OpenAI 15 million. For a regulated enterprise, ungoverned AI isn't a productivity story, it's an audit finding waiting to happen. Every one of these failures traces to the same root cause: AI sprawl. A dozen teams, a dozen models, a dozen keys, and no single place to see the cost or enforce the rules. There's a better model. Bring every AI agent your business builds under one managed platform with cost and compliance built in, not bolted on. On the cost side, every agent runs against a budget you set, with hard caps that stop runaway spend before it happens. You see the real cost of every provider, every agent, every user. No more surprise invoices, just spend you decided on in advance. And at the enterprise level, one report rolls it all up. Enterprise reporting gives leadership a single organization-wide view of every dollar your AI consumes across every user, provider, and model. Filter by date, drill into costs, tokens, tools, sessions, and errors, and export it all. It's the control layer for your entire AI estate. Now the compliance side, starting right inside the agent builder. On every agent, Guardrails enforce your policy on each message. They detect and block sensitive data like social security and credit card numbers, stop prompt injection, and let you enforce or just monitor. It's built into the agent, not bolted on. And around every agent, the platform proves your posture. Every action is written to a tamper-evident audit trail, and built-in HIPAA and SOC 2 readiness testing lets you check your compliance posture on demand, for your auditors and for yourself. Your AI shouldn't be something you discover on an invoice or in a breach report. Bring it under one roof, where it's measured, governed, and yours. That's the AI-MCP platform. I'm George Snyder. Thanks for watching, and I'd love to help you put your AI to work on your terms.